There is no such thing as that one special girl. She does not exist. She'll forgive you for stepping out on her. If your girl's on IG, she is not your girl. But she will not forgive you for being boring. So you want to be my girlfriend, huh? Good relationships are rare these days, but they are possible. Unlock your phone and hand it to me right now. What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the 790th edition of TSR Live, your daily dose of toxic masculinity. It is Tuesday, October 19th. It is good to have you guys in today. As always, we are streaming live simultaneously to Facebook, mgtow.tv, manosphere.tv, YouTube, Twitch, and of course, in crystal clear, high-resolution 4K to Sharpe stream. So however you're watching, wherever you're watching from, thank you for making the Sharpe Reality Live a part of your daily routine. Shout out to the snipers on the Sharpe stream side. Jerry Raven, Geeky Anomaly, Hellfong, Apollo 137, Rpaps Lapduck, Mark Johnson, and of course the lovely and talented Dev. On the YouTube side, shout out to my sharpshooters who are in the house. Dr. B84, thought he was double dipping, I guess not. Nabil Khan, King Life is in the house. Chris Johnson, Jerry Raven double dipping. Josh Mays, William Osborne in the house. Appreciate you guys joining me today. Look, we're not going to waste any time. I was going to break down an article on bold.com before I got started with this Kevin Samuels video, but I'm going to table that for another day. Let's just go ahead and get right to it. So Kevin Samuels had a live stream last night, and he asked the question, is it over for modern women? In other words, is it too late for black women? Is it over for sisters? Now, I'm going to be opening up the phone lines a little bit later on to get you guys' opinions. But for now, let's just go ahead and get started and jump right into the video. Here we go.
How are you?
Next, Aaliyah, you're up next. Good. How old are you?
I'm 37.
All right. What do you got for me on the topic?
So, is it over for black women? I don't know. I imagine at some point we will probably decide that. Is it over for this chick?
Yep.
I'd say so. Now, I say this in all sincerity, good-natured humor. She looks like the female version of O'Shea. Not saying that to be cruel. I'm sure O'Shea would probably agree with me, but she looks like O'Shea Duchess Jackson.
So this is my first time just log in. So what was the topic today?
No. Don't be doing that. Look, ladies. Okay, I'm gonna be nice. Why do y'all just jump on here? I have a topic. Have you ever watched my show?
Yes,
Nope.
I watch
Nah, I doubt it.
your
Nope.
show all the time.
Stop the
Okay,
cap.
then you should know that one of the things I don't like people doing is just jumping on just because they want to talk to me, right?
You know I have a shoulder on you, you know? And it must pop, pop, pop!
So I got a topic tonight, and you're telling me you don't even know what the title is.
Nope.
Hello?
Nope.
See, that's the type of bitch that just wanted to get on, like making an appearance on Kevin Samuels' show. That's akin to like being on TV. Like, dude, honestly, I don't know how television ratings work, but my guess is that Kevin probably gets more live viewers on his Monday, Wednesday, and Friday live streams than a lot of television shows get viewers. I'm not saying, I'm just saying uncomfortable truth on the YouTube side says they don't listen and just want attention. Yeah, that seems to be the size of it. Typical modern women. Oh, see, now listen. Oh my God, now listen to me. getting the tenses all jacked up. Typical modern woman. Typical modern woman. I don't want to be confused for confidence creator. But yeah, O'Shea Duchess Jackson it's over for her. I mean, it's over.
Hello?
This is my girl right here. Buckle up, people. Here we go.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
You know, it's funny. When women like this make an appearance on Kevin's show, they always feign femininity, right? Hi, how are you? Right. I remember Kevin did a show a while back, 5 fake feminine traits. And I can't remember what they were, but I think this might have been one of them. Now, you will notice that she seems very feminine now. Pardon me. But as the interview goes on, you will see that she becomes less feminine, which is par for the course for today's modern women.
I am well. How old are you?
Did you guys hear that? Let's rewind that. Let's listen one more time.
Hello?
Hi,
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am well. How old are you?
Oh, no. Oh, no. So my free ebook, 16 Ways to Immediately Disqualify Her for a Long-Term Relationship, which you can get at donovansharpe.com/newsletter. I need to add a number 17. I need to add a number 17. And if you don't know what it is yet, I will let you know because we're going to hear it throughout this interview.
39.
Uh-oh. Strike one. 39 years old. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. It's looking about as good as Tony, who stood trial for eating the booty a while back.
39. All right. So is it over for black women?
Yep.
I hope not.
You hope not. Okay. Whoa! Boom! What do we have? If it's not over, then what?
Uh-oh.
I agree with you that the women who are out here trying to secure the bag and are putting relationships on the back burner, they do have a problem.
Grizzly Rising says C-Thrim. I think that there might be a little bit of C-Thrim going on. And for those of you who don't know, C-Thrim is cloak the hood ratted me. Right? In other words, you got these ratchet ghetto bitches who try to act, they try to hide the hood rat in them by being fake feminine. I don't know. There's probably a little bit of C-Thrim in here, but I guess we'll see in a little bit. Oh, by the way, there was number 2. Let's go back.
With you that the women who are out here trying to secure the bag and are putting relationships on the back burner, they do have a problem.
There's another one. There's number 2. Who can tell me what that is?
I am not that person.
Oh, you're not that person. That's cute. You know, it's funny. A lot of our detractors, they like to say, well, not all women are like that. Well, what do you mean? Well, I don't ride the carousel. I've never branch swung from one relationship to another. I've never cheated on my boyfriend. I've never done any of it. I don't, or they say I don't do any of this stuff. I remember a while back on the Fresh and Fit podcast, they asked this one girl, do you date around? She's like, well, no, I don't date. They're like, you don't even hook up? She's like, no, I don't have sex.
Stop the cap.
Okay, just because you say you don't have sex doesn't make you a virgin. And then, of course, she then lied to everybody and said, well, yes, I'm a virgin. And we all knew that was cap, right? So what this woman would have us believe is that she's not like most modern women. She's not like most black women. She's not prioritizing her career over relationship. That might be true. However, that does not mean that you didn't do it before, and it won't mean that you won't do it again at some point in the not too distant future. Always be careful, gentlemen, when talking to women and listening to women on shows like this. Always pay attention to their tenses. Let's listen to that one more time.
You're trying to secure the bag and are putting relationships on the back burner, they do have a problem. I am not that person.
I am not that person. That doesn't mean you didn't used to be, and that doesn't mean you won't be. Never, ever, ever let a woman tell you what she is. I mean, you know what? I, Donovan Sharpe, am celibate. I'm celibate. Really? You, like, how long have you been celibate? I don't know, 24 hours? Always listen to what women say. Pay attention to the tense. Pay attention to the tense.
I am divorced.
Uh-oh. Strike two. So she's 39 and divorced. Oh boy, it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all.
I am an attorney.
All right.
That's it. That's it. I mean, unless she got an extra life in the form of maybe a boob job, maybe an elite female physique, she's done. She's out. She's out. And guess what, y'all? Her race has nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with this. She's 39. She's divorced. And she's an attorney. But Donovan, when you met Devin, she was 39 and divorced. Touché. But she was not an attorney, and she doesn't have some of the other baggage that this woman will reveal here in just a minute.
I own my own business.
Oh my God. Oh boy. Oh man, this keeps getting worse.
Okay.
I do actually have employees, so I'm not just the CEO of one.
All right. But why are you divorced? I'm always curious as to why successful women are divorced.
I was married to a beta male.
Wait, say what? You were married to a beta male, so what, we're using men-centric vernacular? Married to a beta male. Okay, all right.
Okay, but you married him.
I did.
So why does that? I gotta ask.
Here we go.
You married him. You took the vows. So when you signed the divorce, you said, "I'm going to sign this dissolution of marriage, and the cause is beta male."
No.
All right, what was the cause?
Well, then what was it? There it is again. There it is again. Guys, I'm here to tell you, man. I'm here to tell you. It's not that difficult to disqualify women for a long-term relationship. It's not. And every once in a while, we will run across a man or a group of men who say, well, I've dumped women for less, right? Solo TV 84 said he dumped a hot girl because she couldn't make eggs. Now, we all made fun of him, but that was stupid. Like, that was dumb. Like, unless you have, like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, listen, I guess Solo had a bunch of hot girls in the waiting, but unless you have, 5 or 6 hot girls, like, trying to get with you, her not knowing how to make eggs, that's a pretty lame reason. Now, that doesn't mean that Solo is lame. Solo likes his eggs. His eggs are very important to him. They're actually very important to me as well, actually. Devin happens to make eggs very well. So I will not be kicking her out of my life, at least not anytime soon. Right? The point is that men disqualify women for relationships for the dumbest reasons. One such, quote, dumb reason that isn't that dumb is she does not have the wherewithal, the mental wherewithal to replace a $1.63 9-volt battery in her smoke detector. Now, on its face, a chirping smoke detector in the background doesn't really seem like that big a deal. On its face, it's not. Right? On its face, it's not. But when you consider everything that goes along with that, For example, we disqualify overweight women for relationships because they're overweight. We're not sexually attracted to that. But beneath those layers of a woman being overweight, a woman who's overweight lacks discipline. She clearly doesn't take care of herself. She doesn't exercise. She doesn't eat right. She suffers in all other areas. A person who is overweight or obese is showing the world that they're not disciplined enough to stay in good shape. Does this mean they're bad people? No. No, listen, just because someone's undisciplined does not mean they're horrible people. Right? But when Devin was going through her divorce with her ex-husband, she hired a female attorney who was a little bit rotund. And Devin was not trying to divorce Ipar, her husband. They didn't have any kids. They had a little bit of money. They split everything down the middle. But Devin's first divorce attorney, she was absolutely terrible. I think Dev paid her something like $7,500, and the woman literally did nothing. At all of these hearings, it was as though, it's funny because Devin told me that her ex-husband knew more than her attorney did. She ended up having to fire her attorney because she appeared to be incompetent. Right now, listen, the State Bar of Nevada obviously recognized her as a competent attorney, but the fact that she was lazy, didn't get anything done, well, of course, she was overweight, and being overweight spills into other avenues and aspects of your life. If you are overweight, chances are you're probably not disciplined in other areas. God only knows how she got through law school. Well, a woman who does not prioritize changing the 9-volt battery in her smoke detector while on Kevin Samuels' show, seeking advice from him on how to lock down a man as a 39-year-old divorcee attorney, not a good look. Not a good look. If you have your smoke detector chirping off in the background, that says a lot about you.
He filed for divorce.
Okay.
Stop the cap.
He filed for divorce, did he? Let's keep going.
Why?
This is funny. He says, why? She looks back and forth, back and forth. Let's see what reason I can come up with to make this story sound legit. Now, I'm not saying he filed for divorce. I'm not saying he didn't. But when you say he filed for divorce and Kevin asks you why, you're looking in the air for 5-10 minutes. I don't know.
He said I was too controlling.
Okay.
No, an attorney too controlling? I can't believe it.
Are you?
Yep.
I don't think so.
Sweetheart, he didn't ask you if you think so. He asked you if you were controlling. Donovan, are you a maniac? I don't think so. No, it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what the people around me think. Donovan, are you high value? Yes. Doesn't matter what I think. Matters what the people around me think. This is what women love to do. When asked a question, they can never, ever, ever admit fault. They can never admit fault. Ever. RPAP on the Sharpe stream side says, I've never met anyone willing to say something unflattering about themselves. Yes, namely black women. Shit, women in general. Hell, let's not put it on black women. Women don't want to say unflattering things about themselves. Right? He filed for divorce. Well, Kevin asked her, why? Well, because he said I was controlling. Are you controlling? I don't think so. Wrong answer. Doesn't matter what you think. Matters what he thinks.
So your beta male husband who you provided for left the money.
Yes.
People do that.
See, Kevin senses some bullshit here.
He did.
Ma'am. Come on, counselor. Come on. Your husband said you were controlling and you said you don't think so. Then why would he leave?
Unbelievable. She must have been really, really bad.
If I'm being honest, Kevin,
Yeah.
the man that
Yes, please be honest, sweetheart. Like, that's what we're all here for. We're here for the truth.
I married,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be transparent. The man that I married is not the same man that I divorced.
Okay, that doesn't tell us anything, sweetheart. That doesn't tell us anything. My ex-wife Darcy will tell you the same thing. The man that I married is not the same man that I divorced. Like, I need more than that.
Okay.
And there's another beep.
What does that mean?
When we got married, he was a lot larger.
What?
At some point during the marriage, he decided to go on this journey.
It had nothing, no fire, no energy, no nothing.
Like, what are we doing?
It did, Kevin.
He lost weight?
He lost a lot of weight and started getting a lot of extra attention that he wasn't used to.
And what'd you do about it?
Nothing. She didn't do anything about it.
I didn't do anything.
There it is. See that? See that? She didn't love her husband enough to try to fight for him. If your husband loses a bunch of weight and you see that women are starting to give him attention, if you still want to be with and love your husband, you make sure that he doesn't have the capacity to entertain other women. In other words, keep his balls drained. Wear sexy lingerie. Be more feminine. I know that's hard for especially black women. I know that's hard for black women to wrap their minds around. But you look at your screen, like, what is, like, honestly, like, femininity is, I mean, honestly, look at her facial expression. Look at her facial expression. She looks like the Mike linebacker who's just found out that Justin Herbert has audibled to play action. Play action, play action. Not very feminine at all. King Life with a $10 super chat. Appreciate that. Says the bodyguard of the manosphere is live. Appreciate that. You guys also picked up on the fact that the smoke detector in the background, I can't stand it. I can't stand it when people have a smoke detector and it's just not, I mean, I can't believe that ever happens like that. Eben Zur, member for 9 months, appreciate that, says these red flags equal the train wreck sound. Real talk. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry about that. Real talk. This woman is a train wreck. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. RPAP. Oh, wait a minute. You guys are having a... RPAP says... sorry about that. You guys are having another... Oh, sorry. Oh, yep, there we are. Oh, okay. So you guys are having a whole different discussion. Okay. All right. Okay. So Mark Johnson says her, quote, greeting voice isn't matching her conversation voice. It never does. That, again, is what I call the faux femininity. Hi, Kevin. How are you? Nigga, what you mean I'm gonna be alone? I'ma have me a husband. I'ma be a wife. It never does. Never does. Their salutation voice is never the same as their conversational voice. Yeah, Geeky Anomaly says Devin, as you said, is feminine and demure. Absolutely. RPAP, speaking about the fire smoke detector, says, how do women freaking tolerate that? Mine started beeping maybe a month ago at night. I took it out of the wall so it would shut up so I could sleep. Then I replaced the battery the next day. Dude, like, I don't know how anyone can tolerate it. I really, really don't. Geeky Anomaly says this is indicative of underlying issues. If she can't manage a smoke detector, how can she be trusted to be on your purpose and elevate you? Holy moly. Hold up. I'm going to tell you what, dude. Geeky Anomaly is quickly becoming the new Red Pill Mike of the podcast. God damn. All right, let's continue.
Tomorrow from 5 to 7, please act like you have more than a 2-word vocabulary. It must be green, okay? Okay.
Look, you were married to the guy.
I was. We have 2.
Uh-oh. 2 kids, huh? That's her second strikeout. She now has 6 red flags. She now has 6 red flags. This woman is a single mother with 2 kids from a previous marriage. She's an attorney. She's 39. What was the other one? Oh, and she's divorced. That's 6 red flags, man. Now, is it over for black women? I don't know. But I do know this. It's over for Geno Smith. She does kind of look like Geno Smith, doesn't she? Maybe it's just the nose. I don't know. That damn smoke detector. You know what? At some point, I think it just becomes white noise in the background. She might not be able to sleep without it, to be honest with you.
Why would a man who's a beta male lose weight and divorce the bag if there wasn't a problem?
That's what I'd like to know.
I see you, Rolling Stone.
I believe he lost the weight. He was trying to go from beta male to alpha.
Huh?
And it just didn't work.
You did what?
He's trying to go from beta to alpha, and it just didn't work.
What was the first thing? What was one of the first things I said is going to be an absolute requirement if we're going to fix this situation?
Okay. So, this woman is an attorney with employees, runs her own business, but she can't afford high-speed internet at home? She can't afford 9-volt batteries? Like, is something not adding up here? Geek Anomaly says 7 red flags, beeping smoke detector. He also says, I respectfully disagree, Don. No one can replace RPM. Yeah, I would agree. I'd agree. Street Fighter 88 says she looks like Ray Allen with braids. Yeah, she does kind of look like Jesus Shuttlesworth, doesn't she?
This one is going to be an absolute requirement if we're going to fix
I like that. I like that. Ray Allen with braids. Yep. We're going to call her Jesus Shuttlesworth.
this situation.
Jesus Shuttlesworth, played by Ray Allen in the movie You Got Game, starring Denzel Washington and Ray Allen. Jesus Shuttlesworth.
I don't know what's going on with her connection.
Where's she
One of
at?
the absolute requirements is going to be that women are
I mean,
honest.
look at this. Like this, like she's supposed to be some boss bitch.
Number 7.
Okay. So your connection is kind of jacked up. So I'm going to pull
Her
you down.
connection
and we're
is
just gonna
extra
talk.
jacked up, Kevin.
You say you don't think you were controlling.
I don't believe I was controlling.
Okay. I
Is
need
this
to,
the remix? Like, what
Kim,
are
I'm
we
going
doing
to need you
here?
to pop over to the Zoom line because your connection's bad. I think there's more to that story. Rolling Stone.
Is that better?
Oh, she jumped right back on
That's
though,
a
didn't
little
she?
bit better. All right. So, why do you think it's over then? He said you were controlling, but you said you don't think so.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you right now, I think Street Fighter 88, yo, for real. Yo, this chick looks like Ray. Okay, see, now y'all, see, I'm not doing this to be mean. I'm gonna put Ray Allen's picture. Oh no, she looks exactly like even her eyes, y'all. Oh no. Oh my God, you might have, yeah. Oh my God, she looks, oh, hold up, y'all. I got y'all right here. I got you. Dude, Street Fighter 88, my man, I think you nailed it. Bruh. She looks just like Ray. She looks a little bit like Geno Smith, but look at this. Look at that. Are you kidding? The shape of her mouth, her nose, even her eyes. Like, if I were to put Ray Allen's picture here, wait a minute. Is that Ray Allen, or is this the 39-year-old divorced attorney with 2 kids? Wow. Street Fighter 88. Man, you nailed it. She looks just like Ray Allen. Holy God. Big Brandon is in the house. TSR Security checking in. Appreciate you, bruh. Let's continue.
No, I did what needed to be done to put our family in the position that it was in, for our children to be successful, for us to be a partnership. He was a very impressionable man. So whoever he was with and whatever they were doing, that's what he was doing. So if he was with people who were drinking a lot, he drank a lot. When he started to get around people who,
I mean, like who did she marry? A teenager? Like, why? Like, honestly, what kind of man are you marrying who is so impressionable that he always does what people around him are doing? That doesn't sound like a man at all, actually.
He went to the gym a lot.
Uh-oh.
Is he remarried?
No.
Okay. Go ahead.
So he ended up with friends who...
Like, on the real, if I'm double teamed in the paint, I'm kicking it out to this chick. Like, real talk. Like, if I'm double teamed in the paint, I'm going to kick it right out to her. She's going to hit that all day long.
Were married. Because before he didn't really have any friends. It was just us. So then once he...
So she married a beta male who didn't... She married an impressionable man who she described as a beta male who didn't have any friends. I wonder how old this dude was. I mean, did she marry like an 18-year-old boy? Because that's kind of what this sounds like. It doesn't sound like she married a man at all.
Ended up with friends that were married. Those friends had wives that worked 9 to 5s. The friends worked 9 to 5s.
Mm-hmm.
The friends probably made more money than their wives. Their wives came home every day, picked up the kids, cooked every day. That wasn't our lifestyle.
And this is why you're divorced. That's one of many reasons your husband divorced you. You were controlling. You obviously made more than him, and especially with black women believe this is really where sisters really take themselves out of the market for high value men. They believe that if they make even close to the amount of money you do, that you do not have any authority over them. Nigga, I make more than you, or I make as much as you, or I make XYZ. You can't tell me shit. You're right. I can't tell you shit, but I can tell you get the fuck out of my house. Right? Like, money doesn't mean, especially for a woman, money doesn't, for a woman, just because you make money does not mean that you are exempt from following an authoritarian figure. Like, that's just the way of it. And I listen, guys, you know I've said this for years. I mentioned this back in episode, 85. The more money, the more status, the more influence a woman acquires, the further she shrinks her pool of potential suitors. You see, the only man that this woman feels like she can date, or that can date, and it has nothing to do with her. It's the biological hard drive. Women simply will not date down. They will not marry down. And when they do, they have zero respect for their husbands. None. No respect. Of course he divorced you. He lost weight. He's getting attention from other women. He's looking at his homeboys' wives, coming home, picking up the kids, making them, making everybody, being wives. No, you got to be the bad bitch with the big law firm and be the attorney and being the the breadwinner. That's why your man left you, sweetheart, because you are not a wife. That's why.
But no, ma'am, you wanted a wife.
I didn't want a wife.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, you did. Look at her. You see that smile right there? That smile right there is her admitting with her face that she knows Kevin is right. She knows Kevin's right.
Everything you're describing is a wife.
There it is.
Because you're a husband.
But I did cook, Kevin, and I did pick up the kids.
Stop the cap.
No, you didn't. How the fuck did you have time to cook and pick up the kids if you're running a law firm? I swear to God, man. I swear to God. Women think that just because they say something, that it automatically means it's true. Well, I said it, so it must be true. Nope, not exactly.
Nope.
Something's not adding up. You can't be this bad bitch attorney running a law firm and employees and still be super mom. Doesn't work that way. And you can tell by the way she's smiling that she knows she's lying.
No, see.
Look at her. See? You see that? Yeah. That is what we call a smile of admission. She knows she's capping. And she knows Kevin knows she's capping. As Thomas Paine just said.
Stop the cap.
Have you been watching this show since the beginning?
Uh-oh.
I have not, but I have been watching it for the last couple of months.
Uh-oh.
Have you watched this show today from the start?
Uh-oh.
No, I had to get my kids in bed, so I got on a little late.
Well, you sitting there arguing with me. You're the divorced woman, and I'm telling you, you're a damn husband.
He just told her straight up, you're a damn husband. That's it. He knocked her out. Look at her. You see how she's looking up? She's like, yeah.
You can argue and be right, but you're going to be wrong. Everything you're talking about is a husband.
Yep.
I did this.
I swear to God, she looks just like Ray Allen. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, she looks just like Ray Allen, man. I swear to God. I'll bet you, listen. She might be an attorney, but how much you want to bet her 3-point percentage is like 45%? NBA range. Am I wrong? Am I wrong, fellas? Am I wrong? Devin, put it on the poll, Devin. Put it on the poll. What is this woman's 3-point percentage? What is this woman's 3-point percentage? Is it over 50% or under 50%? Devin, put it on the poll. If this woman were to get out on the NBA 3 in transition, what's her field goal? What's her 3-point percentage? Is it over 50%? You know what? Actually, let's do this. Is it over 40% or is it under 40%? I think it's over. I think it's over 40%. I think this chick shoots about 46% from 3-point range. Real talk.
For our family. I did this for our family. He was impressionable. You married a beta male. No, you married a woman, and you're a man.
Let's see. So, Slapduck says she does look a little bit like Sugar Ray Leonard. I don't know. I can't see that. To me, she looks like Ray Allen. Like she's a dead ringer. Colonel Sanders the 16th says 65%. Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
I'm not a man, Kevin.
I'm sorry. Say what? She said, I'm not a man, Kevin. It's my pointer. Where did it go? Now it's not going to have the same effect as I wanted it to have. I'm not a man, Kevin. I don't know. Hold up.
I'm all women.
No, you married a woman, and you're a man.
I'm not a man, Kevin. I'm all women.
Stop the cap.
I don't know. She kind of looks like Jesus Shuttlesworth to me. Listen, I'm not trying to be funny, but that's, wow.
Well, see.
Hey, look, Colonel Sanders says she looks, I bet you she's clutch. Real talk. Like a buck and a half or less, she'll probably shoot about 70%. Don't double team nobody in the paint. If she gets on the block on the outside, it's a wrap.
Therein lies the problem. Because if that's the case, you wouldn't have married a beta male.
Ooh, uh-oh.
I should not have married him. I can agree with you there.
Did you have an option to marry an alpha male?
At that time, no. I married him because I was pregnant with my son.
Stop. Focus on that. You didn't have an opportunity to marry an alpha male. Why?
In my lifetime, I've had an opportunity.
She's not capping here. She absolutely is not capping here. She says, in my life, I had an opportunity to marry the alpha male. And this, gentlemen, is the quandary, the quagmire of today's modern women. I had the opportunity to marry an alpha male. Yeah, I'm sure you did when you were 20, 21, 22 years old. But because modern women believe that high-value men are always going to want them, I got time. I'm good. I'm solid. There'll be others, right? I'm sure someone at law school probably wanted to marry her. Maybe. Thomas Payne says Rajon Rondo is still pissed off. Yo, Rajon Rondo feels some type of way about this chick.
So, guys,
they always pass up the alphas. They always pass up their best opportunities. This is funny. Modern women, especially modern women in their 30s, where have all the good men gone? I can't believe like men are not approaching me. Baby girl, you had plenty of chances when you were young, hot, and fertile. This is black women, white girls, Hispanics, Asians, all of them. You have men throwing themselves at you, offering you the world. Listen, I'll take care of you. You'll never want for anything. No, I'm okay. I have time. All right. Okay. Then when you're 39, divorced with 2 kids, now as a single mother and an attorney, you actually have the gall to sit here and say privately, well, I've had opportunities to marry an alpha male. What, are we supposed to give you a fucking cookie for that? What the fuck didn't you marry these guys for then? What was the problem?
Tends to happen is a lot of women say they want to do things differently, want help about, but it's hard for women to admit fault.
Double H says, or Lisa Leslie. Lisa Leslie looks good. Like, that's the best looking 6'4" chick I've ever seen.
They really don't want to admit fault.
No, they never do.
So they will change the narrative, change whatever. Ma'am, anybody who's listening, any man or right-minded woman who's listening heard a man in you talking about your husband as a wife would be spoken about.
Yes, sir.
A woman who's a all woman would have an alpha male or a provider male interested, but you didn't have those interested.
See? And what happened when she did, Kevin?
You gotta, I mean, do you not see that logic?
I hear you.
Uh-huh.
Okay. What's hard to hear?
This is funny. This is funny. She knows Kevin is right. She knows Kevin is right. She's not taking, like she's trying, she hears what he's saying, but she doesn't want to admit it. She hears what he's saying. She knows he's right, but she will not concede. She will not concede that Kevin is right. She won't do it.
This is you, man. This is you, man. This is you. Sucking up everything but this knowledge.
Real talk, Tevin. Real talk. Kevin's giving her all the knowledge, but all she's trying to do is find an argument. That's all that is. Now, she does have one accomplishment under her belt. She does have one accomplishment under her belt of note. She hit the single most important shot in Miami Heat history in Game 6 of the 2013 NBA Finals. Let me stop. Let me stop, man. Let me stop.
Hear about that.
The circumstances.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
In that time in my life, I needed a beta.
What?
And then
Hold up.
No, the fuck you didn't.
Say what? Hold up.
the circumstances.
Uh-huh.
In that time in my life, I needed a beta. And then when I was ready to end the relationship,
So why'd you need a beta?
I was going through a lot. I had just come out of a relationship with an alpha, and it just ended. It didn't end well.
Oh.
Why did you need a beta?
The way he looked after me and cared for me at that time.
Oh.
So again, you went and sought a weaker man.
No, I didn't look for him.
Yes, you did.
You said I needed a beta.
That's exactly what she said.
I did eventually.
Eventually. No. You went and got him right now, baby girl.
No, eventually you chose him. You chose him. You chose to reproduce with him. Because
There
see,
is-
when you came on,
Whoa. He chose to reproduce. She chose to reproduce. I'm going to just put this out there. I'm not entirely sure that her first child with her husband is her husband's, her now ex-husband. How much do you want to bet? She was pregnant with the alpha's child when she met this beta. How much you want to bet? She said to the alpha, hey, I'm pregnant. How far along are you? 3 weeks? He said, really? Bet. And he dipped. She says, yo, I got to lock someone down quick because I cannot raise this baby financially on my own. I'm not going to do it. How much you want to bet? How much do you want to bet that both of her kids do not belong biologically to her ex-husband? How much you want to bet? Those are the circumstances. Those are the circumstances under which she needed a beta. She says, oh shit, I'm pregnant with this nigga's kid. I got to find somebody quick so I don't end up a single mother. I'm telling you what, man, these women are trifling out here.
Saying that he's all these things, but you chose a man who's a beta male by your definition. And you said at that point in time, I needed him because you had an alpha before that.
See that?
The bottom line is, it's funny to me that, have you ever sat down and had any counseling?
I'm sorry?
Have you had any therapy?
Yes.
Okay. If your husband says you were controlling, you were controlling. See,
Okay.
we don't get to tell people how they experience.
No, you don't. Just because she said she's not controlling doesn't mean she's not controlling.
That's one of the hard things about relationships. If somebody says something, you got to at least listen to it.
Something tells me listening isn't one of her strong suits. Something tells me listening isn't something she does very well. Listen, for all I know, she could be the world's greatest ear. Somehow I doubt that, very seriously.
And if you're an attorney and have employees, you're used to being in charge.
That's right.
I am.
Yeah, but can you ever have somebody tell you to shut up and sit down?
That's what I want when I get home. I get tired of being in charge all day.
Now that's real. That's real. What she just said right there, she's like, yo, I get tired of being in charge all day. Being in charge is not the natural state of a woman. It's just not. She's in charge of, probably men and women all day long. She wants to come home. She wants her hair pulled, her ass smacked and smashed hard. That's what she wants and needs. The problem is when women like this come home, they have a very hard time leaving that persona at the office. Right? And the longer they're in that environment, the quicker the last vestiges of femininity sort of take hold. Before you know it, you're 39 years old, you got 2 kids, and you're on here arguing with Kevin Samuels about why your husband really left you. You see, this is a teaching moment here. This is actually a teaching moment for both men and women. And I want you guys to listen very, very closely. Very, very closely. Because I have always, always said men and women are better together, guys. I'm never going to be the guy who said, I'm never going to be the guy who tells men to just give up on relationships with women altogether. If you have given up on relationships altogether, I'm not going to judge you, man. I'm not. Today's women are freakishly impossible to deal with. They have unrealistic expectations. They're entitled. They come with all kinds of baggage, multiple kids with multiple... dude, the list goes on and on. So if you're one of these people who has decided, hey, you know what? The juice isn't worth the squeeze. I'm not putting in the effort. You're getting no judgment from me. But if you do decide, hey, you know what? I would like to be in a relationship of consequence with a woman that respects and loves me, that I also respect as a woman and love. What you have to understand is you need to avoid women like this. All right? Any woman who says she's in medical school, law school, any woman who is interested in rising to the corporate ladder, any woman who travels for work, any woman who is in a supervisory position, guys, she's not going to make a very good girlfriend, definitely not going to make a very good wife, and will definitely not make a good mother. If you want to avoid the situation that her ex-husband now finds herself in, gentlemen, you have to avoid women like this. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying she's a bad person, right? And we'll find out why she is the way she is a little bit later on in the interview. But guys, I'm not just here to point out the problems. I'm here to give you the solutions. Gentlemen, if you don't want a bitchy, controlling wife who talks down to you and emasculates you, stay away from women like this. Men, a lot of guys out here say, well, I need a boss bitch. No, you don't. Unless you're a hobosexual, unless you're looking to live off a woman, which is some bitch shit in the first place, there's no need for you to be dating a doctor, a lawyer, any sort of executive, because you can't tell these women anything. And it's not that this is not who they want to be. You can tell that this woman does not want to be this way. She doesn't. And we can all sit here and talk about how she, looks like Ray Allen and the fact that it's over for one of her 2 kids. This woman doesn't want this for herself. She doesn't. This woman wants more than anything to be feminine and surrender to a man. But she has been in corporate America. She's run her business for so long, she has quite literally forgotten how to be a woman. And who can blame her? She can't have feminine personality traits and run a law firm. It just doesn't work that way. No, to run a law firm, you got to be a fucking killer. You have to act like a man. That's what it takes. This woman doesn't want this. You can tell. This is why she's talking to Kevin. And truthfully, I feel for this woman, but her feelings are not my problem. They're really not. If you want to avoid being in the situation that her ex-husband now finds herself in, avoid women who are in pre-law, doctors, lawyers, any sort of executive, whatever. And no, ladies, this doesn't mean that I'm advising men to stay away from women who have power and influence. It has nothing to do with not being able to handle a woman like that. No. The problem with dating and committing to people to women like this is that they, at some point, they cross the line of demarcation and they're unable to turn on the switch. They can't turn off the switch. To do what she does, you got to act like a man. You have to be masculine. You have to be demanding. You have to be cutthroat. That's not the way. That's not the state of a woman. If you want yourself a bad bitch, hey, listen, man, go ahead. But it costs to be the boss. And what you're going to have to understand is that women like this, if they make a certain amount of money, they don't respect your authority. Why does my woman respect me? Because you make $50,000 a year and she makes $150,000. That's why. No, this does not make you weak. This makes you a man. And if you want a woman, if you want a submissive, feminine woman, you must absolutely avoid women who are in these influential positions. You have to. It's through no fault of their own. And honestly, listen, if we're being honest, hey, good for her. Like really. This woman has her own business. She has her own law firm at 39 years old. She has employees. Hey, man, that's nothing to sneeze at. Because I'm gonna tell you what, there are a lot of ancient niggas around in this country won't accomplish half of what this woman does. Won't accomplish it. But everything comes with a price. And unfortunately for this woman, she didn't realize what the price was. If she knew then what she knew now, I guarantee you her life would probably be different right now. She wouldn't have gone to law school. She probably would have stayed her ass at home and waited and kept her ass in shape and waited for a man to come and choose her. She clearly wasn't told this. She was told, hey, go earn, get your degree, become a lawyer, get your own business, blah, 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 blah. And you all have men lined up around the block. Newsflash, this ain't a Tyler Perry movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, Medea's not walking through that door. It's just not going to happen. Michael Jai White is not waiting for you. It just doesn't work this way. This woman does not want this for herself. So men, the solution here is to avoid women like this. You can use them for bedroom fun, but don't commit to anything. But don't commit to these women. Ladies, if you're watching, if you want to avoid this woman's situation, if you want to avoid this woman's situation, if you don't want to be 39 years old, single mother, 2 kids, divorced, your dating prospects are all going to be garbage, stop trying to be a boss bitch. Stop trying to be a boss bitch. You cannot be a boss bitch and have a high value man. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. There is a cost for it. Listen, if you want to go out there and earn and be a boss bitch, great. Just understand you're going to be sacrificing your romantic options well into the future. Well into the future. And again, congratulations to her for accomplishing what she's accomplished. Good for her. Unfortunately for her, it has cost her true happiness in her romantic life. She's a cautionary tale, ladies. She really, really is. So Devin put on the poll, what is this woman's 3-point percentage? What's her percentage stroking, pardon me, stroking from downtown? Looks like 158 of you voted, 161 actually. Under 40%, 37% of you guys said she shoots under 40, over 40%, 62%. I'm going over 40%. Actually, you know what? I can look that up right now. Hold on. Ray Allen's career 3-point percentage, he is right at 40%, so everybody was wrong. Right at 400%. I had no idea. I remember Kyle Korver of the 2013 or the 2015 Atlanta Hawks. Kyle Korver shot 52% from 3-point land. That was when Atlanta was the number 1 overall seed, but, you know. Colonel Sanders is 16th member for 21 months, says almost 2 years DS. Thanks for your tutelage. Absolutely, man. I do this for you guys. I love what I do, and you guys make this a lot easier for me. R.I.P. RP Mike, $5 says lawyers, nurses, strippers. Those 3 professions are going to give you hell. Yeah, right at the end of Womanese Volume 1, Chapter 1 gives you all the professions. Stay away from women in the military, just like I said, hairdressers, lawyers, nurses. Definitely stay away from strippers. Well, what kind of women should we be looking for? Look for a woman who works in a kitchen, maybe a homeless shelter, who a medical professional. Maybe don't get with a nurse because nurses are hoes, right? But maybe a hospice care. Maybe she's a care provider, a woman who maybe works at a daycare center, a kindergarten, preschool, 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade teacher. Those are the kinds of women who have to be nurturing as a matter of survival. That's what they do for a living. You'll find that the average 1st grade teacher is far more feminine than the average female attorney. Now, when you play pickup ball with your boys, not going to be able to count on her as much as maybe her. That's how this goes. Let's continue.
But would you know how? But can you get it?
I think so.
How do you think? What do you?
She's a victim of prosperity preaching. If you believe it, if you visualize it, you can have it. No. Double H says, how many strippers say they're going to nursing school? All of them. All of them. Dude, don't get me started. Yeah, actually, let me re-answer that. How many strippers say they're going to nursing school? Yes. That's how many.
I think the number one thing is that would be able to draw that kind of thing to you.
Femininity.
I don't know how to draw that thing to me.
There it is, guys. There it is. She has no idea how to draw a masculine man toward me. She has no idea. No idea. Look at her. She really is clueless. You want to know why she's clueless? Because she's 39. She runs her own business. She's a lawyer. She owns a law firm. That's why. How can we expect her to know how to be feminine if she's an attorney? You can't be feminine as an attorney. You can't.
And that's my question.
Femininity.
There you go. God damn, that fucking... Look at her. It's like she's finding... Holy shit. Look at how long... Watch this.
I don't know how to draw that thing to me.
Now, watch how long she sits there and looks at the screen. Watch.
And that's my question.
Femininity.
Look at this.
The opposite of what you do.
Dude, her mind... Look at this. Her mind is blown. She's like, holy fucking shit. Are you... Wait, what? Look at her face. She's like, femininity. Wait a minute. Like I've heard the word before, but I didn't know it was a real thing. Look how shocked she is. Her mind is blown. And of course, as an attorney, she can't really show that, right?
Your entire life is structured for masculinity.
There it is.
So if it's structured for masculinity,
Dude, she hasn't
not
said
surprising
anything
you
in
draw a
12
feminine
seconds.
man to you.
Okay, so
Ma'am, this is a bigger topic though. But go ahead.
So what do you suggest? In my history, I was raised by my mother.
Oh boy.
My father.
Hold up.
Go ahead.
So what do you suggest? In my history, I was raised by my mother. My father was not present.
So, okay.
So she raised.
What do I suggest for what?
Oh boy. Raised by her mother, her father was absent. And you know what? That's a shame because that's not her fault. That's not her fault. It is not her fault that her mother chose to procreate with give me a second here. It is not her fault. It is not her fault that her mother decided to procreate with Walter Ray Allen Sr. Walter Ray Allen Sr. By the way, fun fact, guys. Ray Allen's first name is Walter. Walter Ray Allen. Ken Griffey Jr.'s name is not Ken Griffey Jr. His name is George Ken Griffey Jr. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s name is not Dale Earnhardt. His name is Ralph Dale Earnhardt Jr., as was his father, Ralph Dale Earnhardt Sr. That's just a little bit of sports nerdism from me. But all jokes aside, guys, all jokes aside, the fact that she was raised by her mother and had an absentee father, that's not on her. That's not on her. This is another sad example of a woman who came from a broken home and she's just repeating the cycle, man. This is just repeating the cycle. So what's the solution here? Oops. The condom fell off here, guys. Sorry about that. We don't want to be going up in a raw, do we? The solution here for men is you need to quiz a woman on her family. What's your relationship like with your parents? What's your relationship like with your father? Was he strict? Was he laid back? If a woman that you are thinking about dating has no relationship with her father, I mean, you can smash her.
Yep.
Right? You can have some fun with her like that. But a woman who was raised without a father that's it. Why do I have all of these problems with my girlfriend? She doesn't respect me. She mouths off, blah, 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 blah. Well, your first mistake was that you didn't ask her about her father growing up. Amy, the 19-year-old that I fell in love with, who absolutely just turned my life upside down, same situation. Her father was abusive, in and out of prison. Had no father figure. This is why she had a child at the age of 14 years old with a man almost 20 years her senior. She was 19, I was 31. That's why she was drawn to me. Is because I was much older than she was. This is the kind of damage that is done to women who are raised without their fathers. And again, I'm not putting this on this woman. I'm not doing that. We all know that it's over for her. We get it. Not her fault, man. That being said, her daddy issues are not your problem. It is not up to you. It is not up to you to rescue her. It is not, you cannot right all the wrongs that this woman has endured in her life. It sucks, but it's true. It really does. Black Gnostic Speaks with the $5 super chat says, welcome back and give him hell, man. Hey. Shout out to BGS, man. Shout out to BGS, dude. He was the only, him and another guy, Red Sings the Blues. A bunch of people did videos on me when I was in the hospital with COVID, the DV. And just about every video was basically just me kicking me while I'm down. Right? Well, when you spread this kind of hate, and we know now Devin is his wife because she's calling everybody dogged me, man. Everybody dogged me. Except for that guy. BGS said, hey, man, let's take a knee for Donovan Sharpe. He said, look, man, we may not all agree with his line of thinking. But at the end of the day, he's a man, and we're all supposed to be on the same team. So I appreciate, BGS probably doesn't realize how much that video touched me. That was, because anytime people do videos about me, it's usually not that positive, right? And, I'm used to that. But the fact that he came out and said, hey, man, take a knee for Donovan Sharpe, that was cool as shit, man. That was really, really cool. Everybody else took sideways shots at me and, he thought he was invincible. None of that was true. So shout out to BGS, man. Shout out to BGS. Appreciate that. Let's continue here. But yes, this is not this woman's fault that she was raised by her single mother and an absentee father. That's not her fault. But this is why you have to ask questions. Pay attention. Ask her, hey, what was your family life like growing up? What was your relationship with your father like? Right? Oh, your mother and father split up? Okay. Who was your stepdad? Devin was raised by her stepdad. Devin's father was murdered when she was 8 months old. Her mom's 21 years old with two girls. Fortunately for Devin's mother, who was both fit and feminine she was a hairdresser. Still a damn good one, too. She now works for an investment firm. Devin and her older sister came out pretty okay. It's not Devin's fault that her father was murdered. It's not. Right? But had Devin not been raised with a man in the house, there's no way we would be together. No way. Nope. I would have been like, abandon ship. Abandon ship. Gentlemen, you must ask these questions. And if you're seeing a woman and you find out that she had an absentee father or was raised by a single mother, and you stay in that relationship anyway and you commit to her, guess what? Whatever she does to you, it's your fault. Especially if you hear this. It's your fucking fault. Guys, we've been telling you for years, do not fuck with these women who have daddy issues. Yes, it sucks that they have daddy issues and it's not their fault. But it's not your responsibility either. You didn't leave the mother of you didn't leave her mother. No. Have some fun with her and then get the fuck up out of there. Ladies who are raised by single mothers with absentee fathers, I wish I had something for you. I really did. I really do. I don't know, go to finishing school. I don't know. I got nothing for you.
For me, I still believe in love. I believe that I would like to be married. I want to be married again. I just want to be married to the right man.
What does that mean?
Someone who actually understands me.
What does that mean?
And that we can be, that we can live this life together and I can support him and he can support me.
Support you doing what?
Raising children in life, just as a partner.
RPAP on the Sharpe Stream side says, so this woman likely experienced that young. Now she is older, remembers getting that attention, but it likely waned, and she thinks it waned because she was married and her partner's coworkers associates knew that. She doesn't want to think their interest waned because her looks went down and she has kids. Bingo. Bingo. Geeky Anomaly says, bang 3 nurses, 1 echo tech, 1 manager, and 1 administrator where I used to work. Yeah.
Okay. So you want to be married? You want any more children?
I want
Oh no!
Do you want to have any
one more child. I would like a child with my husband.
Oh my God! This 39-year-old woman wants a child with her husband. Vegeta, what is her level of delusion? It's over 9,000. Like, what are we doing? You're 39 years old. See, now this is on her. She's got to know that as far as childbearing goes, she's geriatric. She's geriatric. Like, you have to think of your childbearing years like you would as a female tennis player, right? From 18 to 28, you're solid. As soon as you get into your 30s.
So you're looking for a stepfather?
Oh.
Well, he would have to be a stepfather. Yes, I have 2 children.
Right.
Oop. Where we at? Look how entitled she looks here.
A child with my husband.
So you're looking for a stepfather?
Well, he would have to be a stepfather. Yes, I have 2 children.
Right.
I have 2 children. He would have to be a stepfather. And she's right. She's right. It's not going to be a high-value ma'am. High-value men ain't trying to be stepdads out here in these streets. They're just not. Especially not now. You kidding me?
Right. Fine. But looking for a stepfather. You want to be married. And what kind of law do you practice?
Immigration.
Honestly, I honestly thought he was about to hit her. I thought he was about to hit her with the, how tall are you? Michael Batroc IV says, not enough likes. Yes, guys, please like the video. My subscribers are heading in the other direction, so I need more engagement. If you would hit the like button, keep the engagement over 50%, I would greatly appreciate all of that. Thank you.
What state do you live in?
Damn, Kevin, you're supposed to ask her how tall is she?
Texas.
Oh, she in Texas.
So does your what kind of income would you like your husband to make?
Uh-oh.
A minimum of 80,000.
Stop the cap.
Come on now. A minimum of, I have never heard. Well, listen, maybe she's more aware of her sexual and relationship market value than, she might be more aware of it than we think.
Minimum.
Yes.
And you're making how much?
I make
Not enough to be able to afford 9-volt batteries, it appears.
6 figures.
Prove it. If you're making, I mean, listen, she's got a leather couch. But like, what's up with the 9-volt? What's up with the 9-volt battery though? Huh? Hold up. Here we go. Hold on. There we go. All right. See, now I can. Okay. Right. Let's see if this 9-volt battery. Can stop the chirping sound.
That could be 100,000 to less than $1 million. It's relevant.
See, it's so funny. You can always tell by their facial expressions when he just nails him. He's like, it's relevant, and she wants to disagree, but she can't. Look at her. Look at her face. Watch when he says this. Watch this. This is funny as shit.
I make 6 figures.
That could be 100,000 to less than $1 million.
Yeah, Lorenzo Rock says 80K is a lot. 80,000 is a lot in Texas. Oh, yes, it is. 80,000 is a lot in Texas. No state taxes, y'all. Texas is probably one of the best kept secrets in terms of quality of life. It was for Devin and I. We were thinking we had it down to 2 states, Texas or Nevada. We chose Nevada, but it was not an easy decision.
It's relevant.
Watch, look. She's like, "Oh, you got me, you motherfucker! You saw that?"
I make over $200,000.
Woo!
So you want to be the majority breadwinner?
Uh-oh.
I don't mind.
Sweetheart, you're going to have to be, because any man making over $200,000 a year doesn't want a woman who's 39 with 2 kids making 200 stacks a year. Not going to happen. And she might know that, which is why she lowered the minimum to $80,000 a year. Guys, I mean, I'm not trying to attack this woman's character. I'm not, but it's over for her. It's over. And I think she knows it. I think she knows it's over. And I think she's maybe talking to Kevin because she wants him to tell her, no, it's not over. No, you don't have to buy a dog and die alone, but I don't see this happening any other way, man.
I don't necessarily want to, but I don't mind.
So I asked you, what kind of income do you want your husband to make? You said at least 80. You want 80,000 minimum. So I turn around and ask you, do you want to be the majority breadwinner? See, you got to be honest.
Yep. The thing is I think she has to be the majority breadwinner. Kevin, she doesn't want to be. At least, I mean, I don't know. Maybe she does want to be the majority breadwinner. But how can I put this? This is not going to add up economically. Okay? Men in Texas who make north of $200,000 a year are not checking for 39-year-olds who are just divorced with 2 kids making $200,000 a year. They're not checking for broads like this. And I think she knows that. That's why she says, all right, well, I'm just going to lower my standards, which is what she's going to have to do. And $80,000 a year?
So, Kevin, I am being honest. I've heard you on the show before.
Do you want to be the breadwinner, or do you want a man who earns more than you?
Ideally, I don't want to be the breadwinner, but I'm not going to skip over average men.
Bingo. There it is. See? This woman isn't stupid. She's an attorney. She's an immigration attorney, which is, well, that makes sense in Texas, I suppose. Right? Like, she understands that. She says, look, ideally, I don't want to be the breadwinner, but I can't overlook average men anymore. Translation. I understand my depleted sexual market value is not enough to afford me access to the men that I want. So in order to not be alone, I gotta lower my standards. There it is. It sounds like she's being realistic to me. However, if she does meet such a man, it's gonna be a repeat of the same thing. It's gonna be a repeat of the same thing. She's not gonna have respect for the guy because he doesn't make nearly as much as she does. Rinse and repeat.
But again, you end up in the similar position. Because earning
but
over
our issue wasn't money.
Okay, over 200,000. Oh man.
Theo Woff says, I earn over 50,000 monthly. I wouldn't even consider this zombie. Well, why not, Theo? I was really going to try to quiz you, but I couldn't do it.
You have spent 40 years on this planet being masculine and in charge. Okay.
See that? See? She knows.
So I can talk to you like a grown damn woman.
RPAP says you went to fucking law school, make $200,000 a year, but don't want to be the damn breadwinner. See, that's the thing, RPAP. That's the thing. She thought she wanted to be the breadwinner when she went to law school, and now she's figuring out, if I'm the breadwinner, I'm shrinking my pool of potential suitors. She's just now, guys, I'm telling you, she just now has made this realization. It sounds to me like she's got a pretty good grip on reality. I mean, okay, so she is delusional to some extent. She thinks she's, well, I'd like to have a baby with my husband. That's definitely not going to happen, right? Like I think we all know and understand that by now, right? But by the same token, she realizes, hey man, the guys I want don't want me.
And you're an attorney. I can just be straight with you.
Please.
Yeah. Look, a man making $80,000, you're not going to respect.
There it is.
Because every time you have to sit down,
and she knows it. Look at her, she knows it.
And you go to a $300 dinner with the family.
Uh-oh.
If he's making 80 and you're making over 200, let's say you're making 300 together.
Uh-oh.
He's making 80, you're making 220. That means 2/3 of everything you pay for. 2/3 or more. So mortgage is 2/3. What kind of car do you drive?
I have 2 cars. I have an S-Class Mercedes and a Yukon Denali.
Yo, it is a wrap for this chick. The bitch has a Yukon Denali and a Mercedes E-Class, making over $200,000 a year. Hey, look, again, congratulations. Congratulations. She has accomplished more. She has accomplished more than most men in this country have accomplished. But that comes at a price. It comes at a price, man. It comes at a price. And you can see that she is starting to, I think she's already done the math. Listen, I disagree with Kevin. I think she doesn't want to be the breadwinner. At least she doesn't right now. Because Kevin just told her, let's just keep it real. If you meet a man who's making $80K a year, you're not going to respect that dude. So now what does she do? Right? God, boy, dude, what a tough spot to be in for her, man. Damn.
Those are cute. What do you expect him to drive? You expect him to drive at least a Mercedes?
Toyota Tercel. Wait, are they still making Toyota Tercels? I don't know.
I expect him to drive whatever.
On $80,000?
I expect him to drive whatever he wants to drive.
So are you going to? I'm going to ask a practical question. You got two cars. You got an S class and you got a Denali and an S class. So your $80,000 husband could come in and upgrade from his $80,000 car, which is a nice car. He could go in and get an S class.
Yeah, you can get an S class. Making $80K, you can get an S class. E class, that's another story.
If that's what he wants to drive.
Do you see? At this point in time, she is willing to take whatever she can get, guys. She's willing, at this point in time, she's willing to take her mindset now, hey, whatever. Listen, if he makes around $80,000 a year and if he drives an old beat-up pickup truck, I'll take it. Because it's better than being alone. I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm trying to tell you. She has resolved in her mind, hey, I will take what I can get. I think that's what's happening here.
Okay.
I mean, or she could, make a run at the Big 3 league.
Well, the reason I'm asking these questions, you ladies need to honestly think what you're asking.
Double H says she is going to have to retool her thinking and attitude in order to even be able to hold on to a man now.
Yep.
There you go. There you go. I think she realizes that now.
$80,000 is almost twice as much as the average black man makes. That's still in the top 15% of men. But a man's making $80,000 is not living at your lifestyle.
Nope.
Level.
Nope.
Okay.
And even though and this is funny, even though right now she'll think, I'll take whatever I can get. I don't care. Like, look, as long as he's just be a warm body. But again, at some point in the relationship, she's never going to fully respect a man who doesn't make more than she does. She wants to. You can tell this woman wants more than anything to be able to do this. But guys, and I want you to really, really listen to this because ladies, you guys need to hear this. You guys need to hear this. Any young woman watching this right now who thinks she wants to rise up the corporate ladder and be a boss bitch, listen to what I'm about to tell you. If you don't want to be in the position that this woman is in right now, if you don't want to be in the position this woman is in right now, can the corporate ladder? Dude, don't go to law school. Don't go to medical school. No, focus on getting your ass into shape to attract a high value man. Because here's what's going to happen. You cannot have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. Your biology, ladies, will simply not allow you to respect and love a man who makes less than you. It can't be done. No matter how much you want to be able to do it, you can't. You can meet the greatest guy in the world. He is perfect in every way. If he makes less than you do, something is going to be missing. Why don't I respect him? Because he's not the breadwinner. No matter how much and I know women God, I wish I could somehow flip a switch. And be sexually attracted to and respect men who don't make as much as I do. Can't do it. Because doing that, a woman wishing that she could respect a man who makes less than she does within the context of a heterosexual relationship, that's the same as asking men to be sexually attracted to overweight women. Can't be done. You ladies see where I'm coming from now? You see where I'm coming from now? You can't be attracted to a man who makes less than you any more than we can be attracted to women who are overweight. Can't be done. Can't be done. You would like to be able to because you don't have any other options. I'm sure there are a lot of guys who don't have any options who would like to be sexually attracted to overweight women. They just are not. They just are not.
Okay.
He's not. So for relationships to work well, the man needs to be in the financial provider position. So could you scale your life back to an 80?
Oh, are you watching Confidence Creator? Are you watching Confidence Creator? Kevin just said what I said. Is that leading with your wallet? Is that tricking? Dumbass.
$1,000 lifestyle? Could you scale your life and your children's life down to a life that he can provide?
Nope.
The answer is no, and she knows it. She knows it. That damn smoke detector.
By himself?
Yeah, just him. Now you still making what you make, but you scale down to what he can provide. Nope.
No.
There it is.
And all this other stuff is folly.
There it is.
Because he would be your wife.
Yep.
He would be coming into the house that you can afford as an attorney, not that he can afford as an $80,000 guy.
Yep.
Everything that you would do in his lifestyle would be at your level, which is almost 3 times more than he would be making at the minimum. And eventually that would break.
There you go, man. Guys, it just doesn't work that way. And again, you can see on this woman's face that she wants to be able to love a man who isn't the breadwinner. It is not biologically possible. It is not in a woman's firmware. It cannot be done. You can't hypnotize a woman and make her love and respect a man who isn't the breadwinner. You can't hypnotize a man and make us lust after fat chicks. Neither can be done.
Women who make the kind of money you make don't live the kind of life an $80,000 a year guy does.
I've said this for years, man.
Do you get
So,
and the other issue is if you wanted a man making more, he's going to want a woman that's automatically set up differently. She's more feminine. So you're in a tough position.
Yes. RPAP says, interesting difference between the sexes here. This is on the Sharpe stream side. Says, I think a lot of men could be extremely happy if they had a salary of $200,000 and were alone. While this woman looks like she'll be miserable with all her money and possessions, but she'll be alone. Dude, that is the comment of the day. And at the end of the day, guys, a woman can sit here and say, I want to be a boss bitch, da-da-da-da-da-da. It doesn't matter if she doesn't have a man. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She knows it, and her friends know it. Yeah, I just bought this Mercedes E-Class, and I got this new Tahoe. Oh, yeah, good for you, girl. So when are you going to settle down? Right? When are you going to settle down? I would submit this to you. I think it's a lot easier. I think it's a lot easier for black women to get degrees and make 6 figures than it is for them to find and lock down a man. Say I'm wrong. Change my mind. Change my mind. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that what she does for a living is easy. I'm not going to say that going to law school and getting a bar license from the state of Texas is easy. Far from it. And again, I will congratulate her for her success. And that's real. That's not being facetious. That's real. But finding and locking down a man appears to be a lot harder than being a boss bitch. And being a boss bitch is hard.
I'm not getting a dog, Kevin.
Sweetheart, you're going to have to. I mean,
what does that mean?
I mean, what's
I don't want to be alone. I don't want to die alone. I don't want to get a dog and die alone. That's what that means. And I don't want to.
So what are you gonna do? Just take a man hostage?
No.
So what you will get is what the market will give you. See, here's the thing. Just what you just said, you're not gonna buy a dog, so that means you're gonna get a man. That's what I heard.
I'm not meant to be alone.
Oh, I'm not meant to be alone. Oh boy. I'm not meant to be alone. More of that prosperity preaching. You want to know something, guys? She's right. She's not meant to be alone. Women and men are not supposed to be apart. By the way, the phone lines are open. The phone lines are open. 516-387-1987. That is 387-1987. Is it over? Is it over for black women? Let's just go ahead and keep it let's go ahead and keep it a stack. Is it over for black women? That is the topic. I don't want you guys calling in about anything else. I don't want you guys calling it. Listen, I don't mind doing consultations over the phone, but today I want you guys, I want the answer. Is it over? Is it over for black women? That's what I want to know.
Oh, but that's what I think I heard you. I think that's what I heard. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, that I will be married. I will have a man. Yes.
Okay. So if
she doesn't believe that. She doesn't believe that. She's hoping she gets married, right? She's hoping she finds a man. Hoping.
a man who says something like that, they will call. If a man were to be that kind of, a man couldn't say that. I'm gonna get me a woman. No, women have choices.
See, she knows that's why she's laughing.
And see what I just said? You just talk like I'm gonna get that. That's not a feminine mindset. It's not. It's not a feminine mindset. It's a masculine mindset.
But the alternative is to be alone. And I don't want that.
No, the alternative is...
Sweetheart, it doesn't matter what you don't want. The market doesn't give a damn what you want or don't want. The market dictates what you're going to have. That's what's going to happen. The market will dictate that, not you. The market will definitely dictate that. Listen, and she's right. She's right. She's right. It's not meant for women. It's not meant for women to be alone. But guess what? The current circumstances, it looks like that's probably the way it's going to end for her.
The alternative is to tap into your feminine and live there. See, I think it's funny that you find the only things are to either get a bigger penis or die alone. I think it's funny but that's how your mind is set up. Mm-hmm. Masculine. It's either I get what I want or nothing. It's masculine. And see, my thing, I think this is a good call because if you want a man...
I guess I'm confused because either you get a man, either you have a man or you don't.
Yes. Either you have a man or you don't. That's exactly the point. That's exactly the point. Just because you say, well, I'm going to get me a man, does not mean you're going to get a man.
Right?
Yeah, but it's the kind of man. The kind of man that you had before, he divorced you, but you didn't think too highly of him.
There you go. See? She's starting to get frustrated.
Hello?
She's getting Sharpe.
I'm here. The man that you had before, he divorced you.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
So she's having a little bit of trouble with her Zoom connection.
There we go. Back in.
He got her back.
Hi, Kevin.
Hey. So why do you think he was running around?
Here we go. Here we go.
Honestly,
I know. Listen, I can think of one reason why he was running around. He's tired of listening to that damn smoke detector.
I believe that in his younger years, he didn't do it.
Oh, that's it?
So I felt like he was getting all this new attention, and he succumbed to the new attention. He had the new influence with the new friends. It's what he did. What he wanted to do.
See,
so if I sat him down, what do you think he would tell me?
See, look, this is funny. She still will not accept. I don't even want to call it fault because, listen. I'm not going to sit here and act like her husband or her ex-husband was just this bastion of morality and kindness because I'm sure he had some shit with him too. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to sit here and act like he was the perfect husband. I'm not the guy who's going to do that. I'm not going to assume because we weren't there. I don't know because I wasn't there. So I'm not going to make any assumptions. So let's not sit here and make the egregious mistake of thinking, well, it was all her fault, right? I'm not going to do that. But by the same token, by the same token, women need to start owning up to their responsibility. You want to know why they need to start owning up to this stuff? Because if they do get a second chance, and they very, very, very rarely do, if they do end up getting a second chance, if they can't admit fault, if they can't acknowledge where they fucked up, they're going to make the same mistakes. They're going to make the same mistakes. This was exactly one thing I had to drill into Devon's mind when we first started getting together, when we first started dating. She used to dog out her ex-husband all the time. He did this and he did that. Dude, I stopped that shit. I said, Dev, look, check this out. Check this out. I'm sure he was no choir boy, but let's keep it a stack here. You weren't the perfect wife either. Let's not sit here and act like you were just the perfect wife. Let's not act like you were June Cleaver and he was a bad husband just for no fucking reason. No. Let's not do that. And when she started giving me details about where things went awry, I said, okay, we're correcting that behavior. And she tried to make excuses. Well, it's because of, I don't give a fuck about that. You need to admit where you were wrong. Because you're not going to do to me what you did to him. Nope, not doing that. Fuck that. You're not going to treat me like you treated him. So you need to admit that you fucked up. And it took a while, but eventually she came here. She said, you know what? Okay, all right, Donovan, you're right. You're right. He was a bad husband and I was a bad wife. Okay, now we can start. This woman simply will not acknowledge her role in the demise of their relationship. And this goes for men and women, dude. My marriage to Darcy was terrible. It wasn't all her fault. I was fat, I was unmotivated, and I was whiny. Right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that Darcy was the world's worst wife. No, I was a terrible husband. It happens. That doesn't absolve her for what she did, but ladies, look, check this out, man. If you ever want to move forward, if you ever want to, I guess, improve and grow, you're going to have to admit out loud, hey, you know what? You want to know something? You want to know my relationship went into the toilet? It's because I fucked up. My relationship went into the toilet because I fucked up. That's it. I fucked up. No, my boyfriend or husband wasn't the perfect guy. He did his shit. He had some shit with him too. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like he was the only person who fucked up. We are both equally responsible. We are both equally responsible for the demise of our relationship. The minute you can say that to yourself and a man you're interested, if you say that to a man you're interested, ladies, think about this. Think about this. You're out on a date with a guy and he's like, hey, so what happened in your last relationship? Well, obviously you don't want to get into too much detail because you barely know the guy. But as you get to know the guy, be like, look, check this out, man. I wasn't the perfect girlfriend. I wasn't the perfect wife. We both had some shit with us. We were both at fault. Do you realize the kind of respect that a man will give you for actually admitting fault in the demise of a relationship? Like, that is a game changer. Women simply do not do that. James in Nashville, Dub in Dallas, Bad Wrench in Minnesota, Jay in Dallas, Alvin in Australia, Juan in Chicago, Edward in Winston-Salem, and MGTOW Monk in Houston, in no particular order. I'll be getting to you guys' calls here very, very shortly. Let's go ahead and finish this out, and we'll get to the phones.
He would tell you that I was controlling.
Oh, well, there you go.
Do you make any room for the fact that maybe, just maybe, and you didn't intend to do this, but because you were the breadwinner, and because, you know, just like I ran down, you probably didn't have as much respect for him as you would want to have for a man.
Nope.
There you go.
He was overweight.
Yep.
And he was easily manipulated.
Yep.
So it was fine when he was there for you to manipulate. But do you think just maybe, that emasculates a man?
That's right.
And maybe, just maybe, he got tired of being emasculated.
Yeah. How about that?
So when he started losing weight and he started getting women approaching him and speaking to him in a way that's more
feminine,
appealing.
Look at her face. Look at her face. Look at her face. Do you guys see the look on her face? You guys see what the look on her face is? Do you know what that look is? You know what that is, guys? That is the look of realization. That is the look of realization. This is her actually coming to grips with the fact that, holy shit, I was the problem. I was a big part of the problem. That is the look of realization right there, guys. Look at her. And it's like, dude, this doesn't give me, it doesn't give me pleasure to watch this. It really doesn't. Like, I remember Kevin broke down the this one lady who was all happy and she was like 6'4" and a basketball coach. But dude, he broke her all the way down and in the end, she ended up crying. That was hard to watch, man. That was hard to watch. But guess what? She had to be told that. She had to be told that. That is the look of realization. All right, 516-387-1987. The phone lines are jammed. I will get to every single phone call. The subject matter is it over? Is it over for black women? Is it over for sisters? Let's go to Jay in Dallas. Jay in Dallas, you're on Live with Donovan. Is it over for sisters?
Yeah, it is over. And I'm not going to take too much time. And I'm by no means am I perfect, and I'm also not necessarily a high value man. But the women that I do deal with, I notice a considerable amount of money. Like someone said earlier,
okay.
80,000 is a lot in Texas. That's where I am. Even
so
when
you're
they
in,
do
yeah,
make
right,
a
you're in
considerable
Texas.
amount of money, they do things with their money that would never make sense to a man, and they don't respect the man, so they don't even see how their money or their dollar could go further with an average man who's going to give them more structure and also just makes more sensible use of your money. If you're making more than he is, or if she's making more than he is, then if she doesn't have any respect for him, he has no value, and it's just a conundrum, because she could do a lot more with her $200,000,
right,
if she would allow a man to help her take the lead.
Right.
And that's all I got to say, bro.
So you think it's...
And I just want to add this, too. I want to add this, too.
Yeah, go ahead.
I listen to Kevin. I listen to him all the time, but I apply that stuff to myself. I don't even... It's cool and entertaining to watch him break these women down, but everything he says, I try to make sure that I apply it to myself if I'm enjoying the entertainment and it's about people being better people. I think a lot of guys do that, and like you said a few minutes ago, women will not admit when they're wrong. I don't know what that is. It's like inbred, but I just want to say, if anybody's listening that cares, the men are watching this show to be better men, and the women are watching it, I think, really just to watch women crack their face.
Well, thanks for the call, Jay in Dallas. I appreciate you checking in.
All right, brother.
Jay in Dallas, dropping some knowledge there. Let's continue to... give me 2 seconds here. All right, let's go to James in Nashville. James in Nashville, you're on Live with Donovan. Is it over? Is it over for black women? Is it over for sisters? Yes or no?
Yes, it is over.
Okay, and why do you say that?
Hey, Donovan, man, first, let me say thank you for taking my call, man. Glad to see you again, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
From
Thank you very
the
much.
quote
It's good to be
unquote
back.
Delta. You know, I sent you a message, JWood47 on Instagram, man.
Okay.
I went through the same thing. And, you know, bro, been rooting for you the whole way, man.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
You know, you had all my well wishes and everything. I sent you a picture of me with the oxygen in my mask. Hey, man, you can make it through this, bro. You know, so, yeah, R.I.P. Real Mike is one of us. And now my story. I went on a date last night with a black chick. Okay, this is why I say it's over. So you know, I met this really, you know, in shape, good looking black chick. You know, working my second job, and went out with her. You know, a couple of days passed. Went out planning for last night. You know, at the football game here in Tennessee, and she was masculine as all fuck.
Oh boy.
The more she talked, the more, and her body was great.
Okay.
And basically, I picked up enough game from you guys, watching you guys. I actually got up, got her home, got her to the bed, and dude, she was so masculine. I was like, oh. God,
how masculine was she? Like, what were some of the things that she was doing?
The bruh. She called me
she kept
bruh
saying that
several times. The constant hand movement when she spoke, it was, the fake hair. Got to her house, she had bundles in the sink.
No, stop it, James. Stop it.
Dude, no, man, she had bundles, bro. And it was an easy win. It was an easy lay. But, the sad part was it got to just a bad point in the night where I was like, I'm just gonna go. And I don't want to blame it on you guys. I watched too much red pill content, but the masculinity was a turnoff, and that's the sad part. It's like at a point I was like, what's gonna happen after this? This bitch gonna key my car? Is she gonna do something stupid?
Yep.
If I just smash and dash?
Yep.
I'm like, you know what? It's been a good night, lady. Hey, I gotta go. And she's like, what? And dude, big discipline, man. Shout out to Minister Jap and you guys, man. Hey, I went home. 2:00 in the morning, I got back home. It's over. If I'm turning them down, and I'm not making 100,000. I'm not a high value guy. If I'm turning them down, okay, a guy making six figures is not gonna put up that shit.
No, of course
all right,
not.
He's not gonna go through with it. So it's over. It really is. I'm saying no, and I'm a guy making $60,000 a year. I'm saying no.
Damn,
okay,
man.
so what hope? All this arrogance they got is stupid. I mean, it's like they can't. Reality should wake you up at a certain point. But
it should.
It's like they live in fucking Disney World.
Real quick before I let you go, James, why do you think women are like this? Why do you think it's over? Like, what's the one thing you would attribute the most to it being over for black women, in your opinion?
You know what, man, and I think I'm 43. We're the same age.
Yeah.
Let me say this. So we're kind of on the same, from the same era. Grew up in the same era and everything. You got a lot of stuff so let me say this from experience. I think the downside for black women is if you're able to experience other women. Because I was married. I was married to a black woman.
Okay.
And I experienced other women. An Asian woman, Latin women, white women, and the contrast is stark. I mean, it's a big difference. So, and then when you come back to that, you're like, oh, this is garbage.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you've traveled and you've seen better places, and then you come back to this raggedy place that you're like, oh, this is terrible. I mean, even though you're from there, you've seen better, experienced better. It's kind of like if a guy who's wealthy, if he goes to a very, very nice steakhouse,
okay,
or he goes to Emerald's or he goes to Ruth Chris, and then he loses all his money and he'll go back to the gutter and eats at a chicken shack with roaches. You're not gonna. He's like, this is terrible. You're gonna realize how bad it is, and you're not gonna put up with it. A high value guy has options, and if he's able to experience a better product. He's gonna, even if he wants to come back, the quality is down.
Right.
And I don't know if they don't respect us. I don't know what the hell that is. But that masculinity, I don't know why it's there. I can't. I mean, I can speculate, and I've heard 1,000 people tell you why. But man, it's horrible. I turned down pussy last night. An easy win. And I was like, nah, because it's just to the point where I don't want to deal with the aftermath of a masculine black woman having to call me, having to deal with it. I was like, I don't want to do this. But yeah, bro. Hey, glad to make it through, man. Check your Instagram. Love you, Donovan, man. Keep doing
Thank you very much for that, man. James in Nashville checking in. Yeah, I've got an answer to his question. He says, where does all of this masculinity come from? Guys, it's our culture. Right? We all talk about the Tyler Perry movies, all of these movies, the culture, television shows, social media, it glorifies masculine traits in sisters. They think this is attractive, and it's not. This is why we have such an adverse. That's why they have such an adverse reaction when a good-looking brother who is a bona fide millionaire tells them, "Newsflash, y'all, that ain't how it's going down. Like, we're not checking for y'all. We're not checking for y'all." All right, we got Dub. We got Dub next. Bad Wrench Entertainment. Alvin, Juan, Edward, MGTOW Monk, Ahmad in KC. Let's go ahead and go to Dub in Dallas. Dub in Dallas. Is it over for black women? Is it over for sisters?
Unfortunately, it is, Donovan.
Oh.
And I mean, and I like to bring up, just things that we can measure. Forget how you feel. Shout out to the brother that just got off the call.
Yeah, James in Nashville.
A man is not measured by how much pussy he can get, by how much pussy he walk away from.
Woo! There it is. That's what's up. And that's exactly what he did, isn't it?
But yes, sir. And the thing is, me and him in the same boat. I'm 37, divorced. And I got word of Kevin through you when you were talking about fragrances and dressing.
Right.
And been following him ever since. And Kevin is never wrong when it comes just from the data. Because as he points out, when the generation, what is it, the silent generation, when they leave, the numbers of 1 in 4 black women being married is going to go less than that.
Yep.
And this is just according to the numbers. It's no coincidence that all of these shows, Coach Greg Adams, Fresh Fit, etc., Minister Jeff, it's no coincidence that all of this is coming out.
Yep.
Because it is an obvious problem that we have been able to measure while females go about their fields. Shout out to Rolo. We're going to come with these reels.
That's right.
And unfortunately, we know it's this way because of the programming. It's literally the Matrix.
Yes.
That's why we have these metaphors. But it is what it is. And with me being divorced, being able to experience, I'm here in Dallas, being able to experience and travel, you don't want to, you wish you could go back.
Right.
But you're not going to go back to the dysfunctional behavior, and they will rather, they'd rather drown or be on fire than to admit.
Let me ask you this, Dub. Let me ask you this, and I'll give you the last word on this. Do you think that black women know that it is over for them? And if they do you think they're in denial? Because they seem to have a very adverse reaction to declarations like this. There's no way it can be over. Something tells me that they probably know it might be over, but they tell themselves these things to sleep at night. What say you?
They're in delusion.
Okay.
It's a mix of both, because they know what the problem is, but they always know it'll be somebody, a simp, a beta, to pick them up where they fall.
Yep.
Whether they're and then they always say, I'm not going to settle, but they're going to have to end up settling, like the lady you just showed on Kevin's show. She knows she's going to have to end up settling for a lesser man.
That's right.
Because she really doesn't have a choice now. So they're in delusion, but they always know, hey, there's always going to be that dude back in high school. He really liked me. He'll accept, my 2 kids and et cetera, but it'll be a back and forth volley between them because she'll never respect him. or like Kevin has showed, they'll go to compound living. Compound living, get them a female, like what my ex did. I'm like, that to go to a female.
I mean, hey, you got to go where you're accepted, right?
Hey, it's the way my life has went since following you, bro. You took me through my divorce. I listened to you all the way. Wow. I got joint custody of my kids. I'm not on child support.
Good for
I'm finna
you,
get custody. But Now I'm in a house in DeSoto. We were staying in a hotel, Donovan. Kevin, y'all have brought me through. Kevin, you and Kevin are making men better, while women are just like listening, and they're smart ones. They'll cash out, but the rest of them are the numbers show they're living in delusion.
Dub in Dallas, man, thank you very much for checking in, and thanks for that testimony, man. It's always good. This is why I do this, is to hear guys say, hey, you made a difference in my life. So thanks for calling in, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Keep working, bro.
Absolutely, bro. Dub in Dallas checking in, man. Always love hearing from guys like that. Always like to hear success stories. Bad Wrench Entertainment in Minnesota. Is it over for sisters?
Unfortunately, it is.
Okay, let's hear why.
Let's just break it down to real simple things. It comes down to qualifiers and disqualifiers.
Okay.
Men will look for any reason to qualify a woman to date, but a woman will look for every reason to disqualify that man.
Wow. Yep. Very good. I like that.
And I think men do need to shift their thought a little bit here, because as we start being the ones to disqualify the bad women, the better the society will be. We can actually weed out some of these bad things that are happening and say, if you want to be the bad chick, cool. You're fun for a night, but I'm not taking you to dinner. Okay. I'm not 90 seconds. And I'm not going to stay and cuddle.
Hang on real quick, BWE. Don't worry about the voice prompt. We have much more time than just 90 seconds. If you're on the line, you will get on the show. Go ahead and continue.
So to me, that is where we can really kind of disqualify women and say, you want to act like a boss babe. You want to control. You want to overstep me and my authority as man. We need to disqualify women quickly and early. And don't be afraid to qualify them if they meet your criteria.
There you go. There you go. Bad Wrench Entertainment in Minnesota. Thanks for checking in, brother. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks, Donovan.
Absolutely. Yeah, listen, I've said this for years. I have said this for years and years. When men, how can I put this? When men compete for women, women are very, very poorly behaved. Very poorly behaved, as you're seeing now. But when women compete for men, they're on their best behavior. They're on their best behavior. Case in point, The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, right? When all the women are competing for The Bachelor, they're on their best behavior all the time. All the time. But as soon as there is a Bachelorette who has men competing for her, they're fucking just about everybody on the cast and probably even some of the production crew. It's a sight to behold. It really is. It really is. Let's go to Juan in Chicago. Juan in Chicago. You're on live at Donovan. Is it over for black women?
Unfortunately, it really is.
Okay. Let's hear why.
Something that Myron said in his podcast many, many times. Men and women lie, but numbers don't. And I'm going to give you some numbers right now.
Let's do it.
1 in 3 black women will not marry. And that is very concerning. Also, with my experiences with dating black women, because I'm Mexican, I like black women for some fucking reason.
No problem. No problem.
And I found out they have one thing in common.
Okay.
They do not like authority.
Yes.
And that's also very problematic.
Yeah. Why do you think that is, Juan? Why do you think that is that? I'll let you continue your point. Why do you think black women seem to push back against authority or push back against masculinity?
Simple. By the way that we're programmed by feminism.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And I like to also mention, I watched Kevin Samuels' show too. a lot of these women have been engaged.
Yes.
But never married.
Yes, that's very, very
true. And that's also very, very concerning.
Yeah, a woman who
Go ahead.
I was going to say a woman who has been engaged but never married, that is absolutely positively a red flag. Let me ask you one last question here before I let you go here, Juan. So you say it's over for black women. What do you feel could maybe turn the tide for them in our lifetime? Is there a saving grace? Is there an event that could happen that could cause sisters to say, okay, we're doing it all wrong. We need to change our ways?
I don't think they're going to do it willingly, but for this is what I think.
Okay.
If a major war or a religious upbringing were to come, signs.
Okay. All right. Very good. So basically, sort of almost like a catastrophic event, correct?
Yes.
Juan in Chicago, I appreciate you. I appreciate you calling in, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Juan is 100% right. And the reason why we know Juan is right is because when the beer bug hit, all of a sudden, a lot of women were on their best behavior. They were on their best behavior. Now, there were obviously a lot of divorces, right? Like, I think we all know and understand that. But during the beer bug, in times of pandemic, in times of war, I mean, listen, the more unrest there is, the quicker we revert back to our biological programming. Okay? Men, we fight. Women gather and nurture. That hunters and gatherers. That's how it is. That's how it is. The more comfortable a society is, the more... Listen, we're a first world country. Okay? Feminism can only... A first world country... Feminism can only survive in a first world country. Okay? Feminism doesn't work in third world countries. It doesn't even work in second world countries. We have first world problems. That's why womanism. This is why womanism has festered, essentially destroying our women. All right, let us go to Edward in Winston-Salem. Edward in Winston-Salem, you're on live with Donovan. Is it over for sisters? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Why is that?
Well, it's just, just dealing from personal experience and realizing the stuff from my past, all this disagreeableness that I get, it was from, being around black women.
Yeah.
And my ex-fiance, she happened to be a person of color and everything like that. And I just imagine trying to just basically try to take charge in the relationship with just something like the finances. Would never let me look at the finances and things like that. Never wanted me to be around, but never wanted me to really do anything,
Wow.
And I'm just, and it's just like, I'm glad you're here, but I don't want you doing anything. And it's just, I realize it's like, it's not all black women, but a lot of the women that I have had disagreements with about relationships and my beliefs were from women of color. And I'm like, holy crap. And they're from my experience, it just seems like these women are more disagreeable than, say, their counterparts. And I think that's why they're going to...
I agree. Thanks for the call, Edward in Winston-Salem. Yeah, disagreeableness is just, like, no one wants to come home. No one wants to come home and fucking fight, man. Like, dude, totally agree. All right, let's go to MGTOW Monk in Houston. MGTOW Monk in Houston, is it over for black women?
I'm gonna say yes, sir.
Okay, let's hear what you got.
Well, it's a saying that goes, you're in a house with a contentious woman.
Mm-hmm.
You rather be in the attic than in the house with a contentious woman.
Yes.
So it's like they're all that way now.
Yeah.
I know we say in the manosphere that, not all, but it seems to be all.
Yeah.
Like 90% or 90%, 95% are like that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's hard to root out, you know, the ones that are really, you know, down with it for you. You know what I'm saying? It's like they say, trying to find a needle in a needle stack.
Right.
You know,
right.
They're there. They're there, but it's like, okay, I got to reach through all this other stuff that's biting me and poking me and sticking me all over the place and end up with the one lucky one, you know?
Right. No, I agree.
And
I agree with you 100%.
You know, I'm like, you know, they always say there's that one, but you're looking for that one in a minefield, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, they're done. They're done.
Okay. All right.
And they want to run over to white men and stuff like that, and that's great. That's awesome.
But white dudes aren't checking.
White men people.
Listen. White dudes aren't checking for black women, man. They can say that they are, but we all know white dudes aren't checking for black women. Come on. You know.
Yeah, they're not keeping them anyway.
No, definitely not. Wow. Well, listen, MGTOW Monk, I think this is your first time calling, man. I appreciate you checking in, man.
It is, man, and I enjoy your show. I've always watched, and I'm glad you're out of the hospital, man.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're feeling better. You know, I really hated to see you like that, man. I really did, but Devin stood by you, man, and that's a great woman.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's over, man.
Okay. Short and succinct. MGTOW Monk in Houston says it is over. Wow. Shout out to Edman209, who I'm assuming is Edward in Winston-Salem. $20 super chat says, thank you for taking my call and listening to me for a bit. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I'm familiar with Winston-Salem. I went to High Point University, so, you know, they're in the Piedmont Triad area, right? They're off Highway 311. Let's go to Ahmad in Kansas City. Ahmad, you're on Live at Donovan. Is it over for sisters, yes or no?
Hey, Donovan, how you doing, brother? I'm going to say yes, but let me add something here because I don't like to play the race card. I'm going to say yes to the modern woman of all races.
Okay. Okay.
Before I jump into this, man, you're looking healthy, brother. You're looking good. You got that MJ TB12 A game on, man.
Yes.
Nice to see you back.
Yeah, back from the dead, right?
So, there we go. I'm an Arab American, and I've dated almost every race. Was married to a Latina, so I've dated outside of my race more often than most. And there's three things I want to quickly notate.
Okay.
One of them is your message. If she can do whatever she wants, but if she can't leave her phone unlocked, she doesn't need to be with me. Right. Gentlemen, that is as accurate. If you want to save yourself and she can't do that for you, you have no business being with her. You're just bringing trouble to you. Number two, Kevin Samuels had a powerful video that I could relate to on so many occasions dealing with so many females. If she can't give you and more compared to what she's given to others in her prime years, you have no business committing to that woman.
Bingo.
That is probably one of the most powerful messages to the community. And once again, gentlemen, if she can't provide you the best of herself,
right? Yeah, let me clarify that. What Ahmad is saying, guys, and I've asked this question, and Kevin has asked this question. You have to ask a woman, and not just straight up, but you have to ask yourself about your relationship. Is my woman giving me something that she has never given to another man before? That's a very good question. And most women and most men, the answer is an emphatic no. They're getting leftovers on some level. I didn't mean to cut you off, Ahmad, but I wanted to make sure that
you elaborated this perfectly, because this was probably the last serious relationship I had committed to, which was about 3 years ago, and then I became really red pill to the point where it's probably not healthy, because I get to see a woman for who she is from a mile away. But to make that clear, there was no way I'm going to wife a woman in her 30s that so many others in her prime years have had.
Yes.
And easy access to, where I have to pay for the wedding, the honeymoon, the home, give her all access to, you know, I'm almost 39, just got my military retirement, got a passport. Why in the hell would I give a woman everything I have when so many others have gotten
Real
out of her
talk.
for free. So anyhow, and number 3, this is not a black woman issue anymore. I know you have a lot of black followers here,
Sure.
but as an Arab American brothers, our women are paying the price for feminism. There are so many in their 30s, approaching 40, that think they still have the standards.
So
of
hold
a
on, real quick.
24-year-old.
So Arab women. So now Arab women are following that same path.
You will not believe, I have a huge family, and half of my female cousins have entered the age group of 30 to 35, and they are in shock and awe because they thought they could. You know, Kevin Samuels says this all the time to the females on his show. Do you think husbands are just sitting there on a tree where you can snap your finger and get one? And they all thought, and they all lived their life thinking they'll just pick a husband whenever they want, not realizing it is the husband who decides to marry you. So, with that said, they're done. There's so many out here in desperate mode. And being a man and a man's advocate, gentlemen, you have to pay attention for who you're dealing with and what is her goal, what is the purpose. You have to smell that quickly, because if she's trying to get married because of her own time frame and she's using you as her piece that's missing in her life, you're getting suckered in, and you're going to pay the price at the end. And I think you've said this, or Coach Greg Adams have said this, getting in a divorce in your 30s is not like getting in a divorce in your 50s. You can never recover from that if you go through that phase at that age.
That's right.
And I want to leave it with that.
Wow.
Have a good one, Donovan.
Awesome. Ahmad in Kansas City, bringing the knowledge. Wow. I had no idea, dude. I had no idea that Arab women were following the same path. Holy shit. You got to be kidding me, man. Wow. Wow. Okay, let's go to Joseph in the Bronx. Joseph in the Bronx, you're on Live with Donovan. Is it over for black women?
Most definitely.
Okay.
I would say it's over for modern women, period, it's over, but it's especially over for black women.
Okay.
And the reason why I say this is because, I mean, growing up, I had a black mother, but the thing is, she was feminine. So me growing up thinking that, like, oh, most women are like this.
Right.
But no, I go out into society. I'm only 21 years old, and I can already see that, like, you can't challenge them or any other, like, beliefs. You can't say anything that's, like, how do I say it? Opposing to their views.
Okay. Like,
the female way of thinking is the right way of thinking, and black women feel that way especially. Like, you can tell them they're wrong. And, I mean, there's plenty of reasons why that's like that, but, like, I don't see it getting any better from here.
Wow. Unbelievable. Well, I mean, listen, that seems to be the general consensus. Joseph, thanks for checking in, man. I appreciate you calling in.
Thanks for having me, Donovan.
Absolutely. Okay, we got Chris in Miami, Antoine in St. Louis, and Cece in Denver up next in that order. Let's go right to Chris in Miami. Chris in Miami, you're on Live with Donovan. Is it over for black women?
And, I mean, this is why that's like that, but, like, I don't see
Chris in Miami, are you there? Chris in Miami. All right, I'm going to put you back on hold, Chris in Miami, because I think you're listening to YouTube in the background. Let's go to Antoine in St. Louis. Antoine in St. Louis, you're on Live with Donovan. Is it over for black women, yes or no?
Out of optimism, I want to say no, but out of realism, I have to say yes.
Okay.
And that's primarily because society has changed the rules for women. Everything is easier. It's like on these jobs. My friend is a fireman. You can't run up steps anymore. You can't carry heavy equipment.
Right.
They had to totally re-gauge the standards so that women could get through the academy. And that's pretty much the order of the day. My military friends, like, they changed standards so that the women can compete and keep up with the men. Is that making the military better for the military better for women, or is it making the men weak? Because you're lessening the standards for everybody so that everybody can be on the same platform.
Let me ask you this, Antoine. So the optimist in you wants to say no. I feel the same way, but I'm also a realist. So in your opinion, what would what would have to happen for the tide to change? What would have to happen with or for or to black women for them to be trending in the right direction?
Socially, we would have to be realistic over a broad spectrum.
Okay.
I mean, we would just have to be realistic, and you would have to basically go back to ingrain in women now, the modern woman, that you have limitations, realistic limitations. You have limitations in society, but society has propped you up over generations that this mindset that you have of superiority is real now. When we can convince women, not that you're weak, but that you have a place, in with us,
right?
And that we support you. We're not trying to be over you. We support you, but let's be realistic. Certain jobs, were assigned by nature to men. Certain situations were assigned to, by nature to men. It's not that we're looking down on you, until society can do something to make women see life more realistically, man, it's done.
Man, oh man. That's a very good point. Antoine in St. Louis, man, thank you for checking in, man. I greatly appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Big shout out, before we go to CC in Denver, a big shout out to Uncomfortable Truth with the $10 super chat. Says, thanks for taking my call. That's Dub in Dallas. I appreciate that very much. Also, Robert Dalton says, caller, does the open phone policy go both ways? I'm going to answer that for you. The answer is no. The open phone policy does not go both ways. And I'll give you this quick example. I could do a 15-minute soliloquy on why it shouldn't matter. If you are, how can I put this? When you are seeing a woman and she wants to get and you both are thinking about getting serious in a relationship, never be the first to angle for a long-term relationship. Never, ever, ever be the first to angle for it. Well, what does that have to do with the open phone policy? Well, I'm glad you asked, disembodied Donovan, because once you ask a woman to be your girlfriend, all of your leverage is gone. When you ask a woman to be in a relationship with you, you are literally telling her that she has met all qualifications it takes to secure your commitment, right? But when a woman asks you to be in a long-term relationship, at that point, you never tell her yes the first time. And I have plenty of videos on that, why you should never say yes. The point is that when you are going over your list, your requirements in terms of what you will not tolerate, a locked phone being one of them. Hey, so you want to be in a relationship with me? Open your phone and hand it to me right now, right? So now let's fast forward. Let's say that her phone is open, right? Okay, do I now qualify for a relationship with you? I don't know. That's a start. Well, I think that you should have your phone open too. If a woman says to you, well, I'll be your girlfriend, but you have to have your phone open too, you don't have enough value. Okay? She doesn't like you as much as you think she does. Well, Donovan, that's a double standard. Okay. Double standards exist for a reason. Well, I don't think it's fair. Why should I have to have my phone open but not him? I didn't say you should have to have your phone open. I'm not saying you should do anything. But if your value is high enough, a woman is not going to try to negotiate your requirements, much less try to mirror your requirements with hers. It is simply not going to happen. Let's just say Chris Hemsworth is dating a girl named Stephanie. And Stephanie says, hey, Chris, I'd love to be your girlfriend, right? And now, of course, Chris Hemsworth could do this because he's Chris Hemsworth. All right, cool. Well, guess what? Delete all your social media, and your phone's got to be unlocked all the time. What is she going to say to Chris Hemsworth? Yes, master, of course. Do you think that she's going to say, well, Chris, listen, I understand, but if my phone has to be unlocked, so does yours? Well, of course not, Donovan. He's Chris fucking Hemsworth. And that's the point. Your value determines her compliance. The higher your value, the more she will comply. The higher your value, the less likely she is to try to mirror the same requirements. If your value is high enough, if you're offering enough value to a woman, she's not going to give a shit whether or not your phone is unlocked or not, because your value is high. So anytime somebody comes to me and says, well, look, I told my girlfriend she doesn't have to go to bars, she can't go to bars or clubs, she can't be on social media. She says, well, same for you. I said, number one, you angled for the relationship first. That's the first thing. Number two, even if you didn't, the first time she asked you to be her boyfriend, you told her yes, without letting her know what you will or will not tolerate, right? Girls aren't going to be worried about listen, when a girl is really into you, the last thing she's thinking about is, okay, our requirements need to be the same. No, sweetheart, we are not the same. My value is higher than your value, which means I have leverage, which means I have more privileges in this relationship than you do. You can either take it or leave it. Blue Lion 7342 $5 super chat said, this is Chris in Miami. My call dropped, don't know why. Really wanted to speak my piece, but great to have you back in business as usual. Black women are done. Yeah, I saw you. I put you on hold because I heard us in the background. Maybe it was something going on with Blog Talk Radio. All right, let us go to CC in Denver. CC in Denver, thank you for holding. You're on live at Donovan. Is it over for black women?
It's fucking over, man.
Oh God, man! I was hoping we'd get one no.
Nah, so check this out, man. I'm 29. I'm just like an average white boy for context. I've dated like 9 black girls in my life.
Okay.
I can think back fondly on one of them.
Wow.
Other than that, man,
11%,
like,
fam.
it was always more bad than good. It was always more bad than good. So on this most recent one, man, I had to cut this side chick about 6 months ago. She knew she was a fucking side chick the whole fucking time, signed up for it and everything. But every time, you know, we finished fucking or whatever, she just lose her shit. I don't want to be the side chick. I'm like, why are you here then? Okay? And I don't think I can deal with it anymore, man. Like, especially when, you know, a few callers back, he made the great point of, like, these Latinas and white girls don't act like that, man.
No, they don't.
Like, everything is a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Like, even, I'm not, you know, claiming to be some, you know, big player or nothing, man, but I'm saying, even when you do have a dude with some game who can lead, these bitches will not follow.
Nope. No, they will not. No amount of masculine, and I've always said this, CC, and you've got sounds like pretty extensive experience. The more masculinity you show to a black woman in a relationship, the more masculinity she shows. Is that your experience?
For the most part, yeah, man. It makes me think of Myron's line where it's like, I damn near have to fucking smack you to get your ass in line.
It's ridiculous.
And I ain't gonna, you know, risk my freedom on that shit. And just real quick, one more story. Go ahead. A few months back, I matched with a girl on Tinder, a black girl on Tinder, and I just messaged her and said something about, you know, hey, what can you cook or something like that, because it was in her fucking profile, right? This bitch responds with like, oh, you think I can cook because I'm black and da-da-da-da-da, and she starts the interaction off like that.
Oh my God, dude. Holy God. So she said you could cook. She said she could cook in her profile, but then you asked her about it, and she thought you were stereotyping her?
Yeah, and I said, no, I looked at your profile, and it just went out of hand real fast. Like, she wasn't trying to hear shit. I was just like, because I told her, I was like, why would you, you know, start it off like that?
Jesus Christ, man. CC and Denver, I appreciate you checking in, man. Thanks for calling.
Thanks, bro. That's all I got.
So there you have it, guys. Is it over for black women? In my opinion, I don't think so, but it's very close. It's very, very, very close. And to be quite honest with you, man, and black women are not going to like to hear this, but Kevin Samuels may very well be the black woman's last hope in terms of dating options. He might be the last hope because black women aren't listening to anybody with a cock and balls. They don't listen to, they barely even listen to Kevin, right? Most black women I would imagine, probably disagree with a lot of Kevin's talking points, but it would appear that a larger percentage of black women actually listen to what Kevin has to say about sexual relationships between black men and black women. So, ladies, sisters, if you guys are watching, what you got to understand is that the truth does hurt, and it fucking stings. It does sting, but anything worth having is going to be tough, man. It's going to be fucking difficult. It's going to be tough. You got to understand, if you really want to be wives, if you really want to be married and have kids, y'all got to make some changes. And those changes are not going to be easy. And it all starts right up here. That's the hardest thing to change right there, is your mindset. And listen, those in this community, we know all about having to change our mindset, right? When we first found this kind of content, we had to change everything. No, that wasn't easy. We had to accept that women are not who we were raised to believe that they are. Not a chance. In fact, women are quite the opposite. We had to overcome all that, then actually put that into action. And lo and behold, a very small percentage of us have changed our lives in ways that really makes a difference. That's no different from you, ladies. It's no different. Any sister in here, any black woman, any young black woman watching this, or Kevin Samuels, listen, man, ignore us at your peril. Ignore us at your peril, because listen, you might talk shit about Kevin, and Kevin's this and Kevin's gay and all that. Listen, say whatever you want about him. But Kevin Samuels may very well be the last hope for black women. And that's real. That's real. Coming up next, it will be my F-Boy Island breakdown, as I do every single day. You can watch my F-Boy Island breakdowns and all of my premium live streamed content absolutely free on SharpeStream. Just go to sharpestream.com. There you will find the link. To download the SharpeStream app on either Android or iOS. Android or iOS. Either Android or iOS. Absolutely free. You don't have to pay for it. The app is free. Not out here trying to charge people for it. Because I do want people to be able to watch for free. So go to sharpestream.com, sharpestream.com, SharpestreaM.com. If you want access to the replays, just become a SharpStream member or a member at Patreon at patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe. That's going to do it for this, the 790th edition of TSR Live. My thanks to all of my callers, all of my super chatters. Gerard Butler, $5 says shorter shelf life. Black women or Ben Roethlisberger? Big Ben. Thanks for watching, guys. right, it is time for the F-Boy Island breakdown. Oh, look at this. I can't believe it. This actually was the right thing. I actually just ordered a keto. Is it a poke bowl or a poke bowl? I've heard it called a poke bowl. Olivia told me the last time she was here that it's called a poke bowl. But I got a keto poke bowl. Spicy. I got extra spicy salmon, extra shrimp, avocado, and some other stuff. Like zero carbs, super duper duper high protein. And so I'm excited about that. Should be here in 20 to 30 minutes. Welcome to the F-Boy Breakdown live. Obviously, this is for Sharpe stream only. So at this time, I'm going to say goodbye to my audience on DLive, Facebook, Twitch, mgtow.tv, and of course, YouTube. Thank you guys all for tuning in, and I'll see you on the Sharpe stream side.